Let's see, anyone have any comments on the minutes from last meeting? There was a lot of them. Let's see. Al, do you have any comments on the minutes? Right.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, I submitted one or two earlier, and I think they were corrected.
Oh. Okay. You're good. Mark, you good on the minutes?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Minutes are approved. Motion to accept the minutes.
So moved. Second.
All right. Next meeting, so pushed it off till the 18th. I'm away on basically away on the 4th. Does anyone have a problem with the 18th? The Monday? Tried to do it sooner on other dates, but there's meetings all over the place. Unless, no issues.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
18th? Next meeting, August 18th,
August 18th.
Monday.
As of now, it's fine.
Okay. All right, well, that's where we'll leave it for now. Correspondence, let's see. So the Pike application, which I believe we heard in May, before the hearing came on, we received, as correspondence, I received a petition with numerous signatures against the dock. That was submitted by Lorraine and Stephen Walker. My understanding is that Pike has postponed his hearing, so that's not going to come on for, I don't know when. I don't think we've gotten any other further notice on it. Other correspondence, Al submitted an article from the Sag Harbor Express, which discusses pros and cons of CCA treated lumber used for docks and bulkheads, really docks these days.
What was the conclusion?
The conclusion basically is that the alternative is to use like green heart or wood they get from the Amazon. You know, it's not sustainable because it's destroying the rainforest. So it's, and that CCA treated lumber basically doesn't leach much beyond the immediate area that it's in.
I didn't believe that part of that article. I read that article.
Yeah.
And many times you're sitting at the dock and you say, oh, there's an oil slick, let's find it. Where is it? And it's up piling down the couple of slips over.
So
They continually leach. You know?
Yeah, well,
And it does travel. It doesn't stay right there. It leaches and.
when we were doing the dock code over, I read a couple articles about it, and there have been a bunch of studies. If you have a dock in an area where you have moving water, I don't think it's an issue, but if you're up in a creek and you've got a number of docks or like a marina that's at the end of a creek, I think they've found that they had issues. They found sediment further away that had the chemicals in it. I forget the name of the chemical, but yeah, it's a tough one because the alternatives to use synthetics, then you've got microplastics. They mentioned that as well. But there was an article I read about the leachate that gets out. I don't know. But the article says that Shelter Island has a ban, CCA, nothing in any of our codes specifically banned. It was one of the, it was kind of like boat lifts, or docks over 125 feet. It's like a policy that we've had. It's not codified. So, and it's interesting, I just grabbed out of the, just randomly went to a recent dock application, because I see CCA in
It's all over the place.
in all these applications. And I just grabbed the first one was Malin that I saw. And on the list of materials, it says all the pilings are green heart. But then when you look at the diagram for the dock construction, it identifies the pilings as CCA. And that the DEC has rules, and they require that, it's chromated copper arsenate. And they require that it be rinsed before it's used.
Right.
But
Yeah,
one of the articles points out
Rolled in
that,
the
But I don't think it
water.
leaches forever. I mean, I think there's a finite amount of leaching that it does.
from the surface, but one of the same article I had read talks about how then as it peels off and erodes,
Yeah.
the inner layers are soaked with it, and then they start to leach. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's something to think about, but I don't know where you go with it. Build less docks. Another bit of correspondence was regarding down in the lagoon, stake mooring and pulley number 2647 has been in sort of disrepair, and that slip has been empty for a while. That's been reassigned now to Graham Johnson. Had a number of back and forths with him because the gear was not in good shape, and he's all set up now. I think Bert took care of him, so that slip's been reassigned.
That gear at that lagoon, that belongs to the town?
No,
That's private gear.
But it's specified what it has to be.
right.
It has to be dorm water, right? Or-
Yep, it's gonna be a dorm, yep, pyramid, and
Bill, who was the prior on that one?
that was,
Scola for years.
Strolla?
Muscola.
And then it went to another guy.
It did?
Gallo had it for 3 years and never did anything with it and gave up. He
Oh.
gave it up.
Okay, I had Scola in my record, so was somebody after that?
He never touched it, never did a thing with it. He just paid for it for 3 years.
Need more of those.
So I guess there's no loser to lose it policy down at that lagoon
Well,
then?
you pay for it for 3 years,
Yeah,
and, yeah,
There's no use it or lose it policy anywhere except Common Creek.
except Concrete.
That's it.
okay, and the last bit of correspondence was the Conic Estuary Program. They have a couple of meetings. Strategy meeting on the 21st and on the 22nd, 2 different locations. I'm not going to be around for that. If anyone could make it, that would be great. And then they have a scallop symposium on July 16th, so in a couple of days. I'm just not here. I'll get, I don't, liaison issue I'll get to. Well, you have anything in your briefing? I mean, we're going to discuss the rules and regs later on, but
Now, the only thing I had for you was we had got a request from DPW via WMAC to move those 5-mile-an-hour buoys, the no wake zone buoys.
Looking good.
Menage Creek out a few hundred feet was the request. So we moved them precisely 250 feet further out along the sides of the channel. And then adjusted some of the other ATON out there to better reflect what was done with the county. So if anybody has any other questions, concerns, comments, let me know, and we'll keep moving them from there.
good. Yeah, that was one of the items I was going to mention, that I spoke to Island Boat Yard and they said they haven't had any issues since they were moved.
I'd say they're much better. I mean, because people slow down earlier, and that guy should probably stop complaining.
Yeah, Holman, I think.
When did you move them? A while ago?
A month ago, maybe?
A couple of
I
weeks
have,
after,
look, I took a number on it, so I have the exact date, but I mean, it was,
about 2 weeks after the meeting, they
yeah, like.
I
I
contacted
thought that they
Bo.
moved, I wasn't sure, I just,
Yeah, it was,
I think the first time I flew right by them, I was like, whoa, 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 because they weren't where they should have been.
lots of people were.
Yeah.
Good, all right. As far as items I had to go over, just to follow up, we had a number of items in the last meeting. I talked about on the Coast Guard regarding removal of buoys. So I drafted a letter, and that letter was signed by Amber as supervisor, and the town submitted that to the Coast Guard and to our legislative representatives, arguing against the removal of the buoys. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but out at Jessup's, the gong is gone, and they replaced it with a little plastic green buoy, about this big. And at Black Dog Rock, the can at number 15 is so rusted that I use that as a target when I'm windsurfing. There's the red buoy and the green buoy, and I was coming up to it and it was red, and I was like, am I lost? And
It's so rusty.
it's so rusted out. It's red. It's so. Anyway,
That usually when they switch the Jessup's buoy out, they usually put a winter buoy on there. That sounds like what that is.
it's like a nice new green plastic. Looks like something you'd get at Kmart or something like that. Yeah. Weird.
They said that.
All right. The other issue from last meeting, we had the Rams Head Inn floats. My understanding is that they've now been removed from the buoys, from the moorings, and
Exactly what she said, but she did finally get, well, I think.
yeah, well, thanks, James, for getting involved in that and getting that done. Nanta Creek, we talked about. Aquacultural leases. So Tom had a question about aquacultural leases last time, as far as whether the county could assign leases in waters that are controlled by the town. So
I emailed both the liaisons and I kind of left it there.
do we
I don't
have,
have any update on that.
can we refer that
I
to
did get
Leventhal?
an
And
email today, but I really haven't followed up on that. That the only leases that are being issued are from, can't remember exactly, Culture Oyster.
yeah, there's,
Culture Oyster, there's two, one in South Hole Bay and one in Gardens Bay off of Big Ram.
right,
That's the only two that apparently are being active, and they're just renewals. They changed from Oyster Culture Inc. to
an
Culture
LLC.
LLC.
It's the same operator, just
Yeah.
different entity.
So,
I'm just wondering if that's a different lease program because it appears that those leases are huge compared to the 10-acre plots that they were giving out.
I haven't looked into it. I
Yeah.
haven't until
I
September.
mean, I looked at the map and the one outside Gardner's is probably 10 of those those little boxes that
It's a
you see on the
chunk.
map. It's a big area. I don't know whether it's,
Yeah, it's like 40 acres.
is that what it is, Al? It's 40?
That was what I read today. I'm pretty sure. It was like, I couldn't believe the size of it. It's
Yeah,
huge.
it's huge. It's a huge chunk outside of Cockles Harbor. And Al said it was 40 acres. I knew it was big. I didn't think it was that big.
I looked
And I
at it,
believe the one in South Old Bay is big too.
it's about half the size of the other one, so those little boxes or the
Those are the 10.
10 acre?
Yeah, those are the 10 acre. I don't know how they're leasing out this bay bottom here. I don't know what's going on with that. But they were all supposed to be 10-acre leases.
Oh.
And they were all over the place. Like Orient proposed.
Exactly, where is this one?
It's gonna be north and east of Big Ram. Or
Makes
east,
sense if you're
or
gonna
easterly than
get several leases to have them contiguous, I guess.
is that thing in?
Didn't Angela Pelosi have one there a number of years ago?
He's got land out there that's private land, that he pays taxes on. That's, I don't know if
Must be a
that's,
fortune.
no, actually, the taxes, I believe, on underwater land are dirt cheap from what I hear.
I was joking.
No, it was, like Al said, it was 40 acres. It's a big plot, and it appears that there's a bunch of other plots around it.
Yeah, it's right off of the north side
I don't
of,
know whether it would fall within our 1,500 feet or not, but I didn't have to transpose a map there to see where it actually is compared to that, but,
is that something we could, Albert, is that something we could
Yeah.
pass on to Leventhal?
it's really not a good location as far as I think. Anybody going out of Cockles Harbor and heading to the north is,
Gonna go right through it.
Screwed.
yeah.
The other one's way over by
Especially
Hog's
so-
Neck.
How is it manifested? I haven't been over there. I mean, is it?
No, let me correct that. The one on the west side of Shelter Island is 40 acres. The one on the east side, they're proposing is over 200 acres. There's 205 acres. Proposed lease acreage is 205 acres.
That's
That is
crazy.
the one off of Ram Island.
205?
Do we know,
205.
do we know who has them?
You guys can look, I mean, it's the second and third page to the letter that was sent
Right.
to.
Today. Was it today or yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to read the whole thing. I briefed over it real quick before I
Right.
came tonight.
It's an exorbitant amount of,
It's really big, yeah.
I thought these things were gonna be, small, a couple of acres or an acre or two plots. And they've grown exponentially, I think. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
that's a problem.
It's kind of like the CCA stuff, there's there's good and bad, it's certainly helping the water to be growing oysters, and but it's bad in terms of it limits other people's use of it. It's a quick.
Al, is there any way you could find out who's the leaseholder there?
Yeah, it's
It
listed,
says it on
It
the
is
thing.
listed in the email.
Who is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
aquacultural,
It's
It's an LLC.
Eros
Arrows Cultured Oyster Company, Inc. And that's then the proposed is Arrows Cultured Oyster Company LLC.
Located in Lubbock, Texas.
Right. That was just a change of structure.
yeah. Oh, all right, well, we'll see if, as far as your issue goes, if there's, somehow I imagine the county can do that, but
Yeah,
interesting to find
I'm
out.
wondering how. I mean, I didn't get a chance to read it, but that's a lot of land for them to be taken up like that. And right there too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think, yeah.
So my guess would be that if this is outside of the 1,500-foot mark,
It is.
we're out.
Yeah,
Our opinion on the matter doesn't really.
Well, all we can do is respond to the
Right,
correspondence.
from the
letter.
navigability of the area and all that.
Yeah.
If it's within the 1,500-foot mark, right, we don't, but we could enact some sort of legislation that would require local permitting for something that the county would allow within our jurisdiction, right? So, because we're the local agency, right, so the agency has jurisdiction.
right,
So
lead
you could
agency.
issue the permit, but if you didn't get a town permit, then you would be, just like the DEC with the docks and all that sort
Yeah.
of concept, but we don't have anything of that sort currently.
If we chose to allow it to begin with.
Well,
Right, hypothetically, right, if you wanted it to be allowed within that zone, in those areas that the county is.
With the
Then
condition
you
on
have
it.
to pass some legislation that restricts it without a permit.
well, the first step is to find out if it's within the 1,500 feet, which would be pretty easy to measure that, so.
Looks like it's out.
It does look pretty far away, but I can't superimpose that line.
The one to the west definitely is way out there.
That's-
The one to
that's
the-
definitely
The one
not
to the
our
east looks
jurisdiction.
pretty close to me. All right. One last item, as far as my briefing goes, is the subject of the Royer application. This is for the, Royer replaced about 100 feet of bulkhead without a DEC or a town permit. DEC went after him and fined him. He still is required to submit an application to Shelter Island to get a permit. And he submitted an application that was really deficient in information to the town clerk, and she's tried for months to get the necessary information. So dimensional drawings are missing, identifying the area of the, on the property, on the survey, where the old bulkhead was removed and the new one replaced. Materials list is not provided. So I'm not sure where to go with this owner or operator, but the contractor, but he's problematic in virtually every,
Contractor Review Board.
yeah,
That's what that sounds like, yeah.
yeah.
Do we know what the fine was?
Those contractors.
It was only,
Pardon me?
Those contractors required to be licensed?
You would think, I mean, a dock builder must if they're doing work on Shelter Island, they have to have a license.
Licensed and insured and all that, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he's licensed and he finally got insurance and provided the insurance.
That was the issue.
That was why, that was on the dredging. That's why we had an emergency meeting, because he finally got his insurance, and the DEC gave him like a week to get the work done, and so we had a meeting to give him a permit to get the work. That was the dredging. This is the bulkhead, which has been
And the town hasn't fined him.
no, the town hasn't fined him. DEC, I think it was only $500 that the DEC fined him.
Really?
The town could fine him thousands of dollars.
That's
but-
even less than just the cost of doing
It could
business.
cost longer to, cost more to generate the paperwork.
Yes.
So, whatever,
With the contractor review board is currently being worked on, the law, there's really no means of really finding somebody within that, so we want to establish something.
but if
Those are the
someone,
things that are going on.
but how about the owner not having a permit?
Yeah, that's a finable offense, isn't it?
Yeah, there are, but nothing really appreciable for bad behavior.
Well, there now is in the dock
The
code,
new code,
In the new code, there is substantial,
Yeah.
and you know, it's good, well, yeah, it's pretty frustrating. You spend a lot of time coming up with all these laws, and rules, and regulations, and then you have no way to enforce them, or you don't get them enforced. Or no penalty. It's
So
just
it's
sort
done
of,
that the building department, the code enforcement was made aware of the work that was done without a permit. So.
I sent them photos and everything
Yeah,
last
so
year.
I'm sure they're working through their mechanisms of serving a notice violation and perhaps enacting whatever fine or fee or however that works. You know, I would maybe question them if you think that there's, that isn't happening, maybe just check and say, hey, look, you know, we reported this known violation, and we know that at the end of this, there's a remedy for dealing with known violations under the new code. Where are we in the process between the two? Maybe they could offer an update on that.
When I spoke to them about the dredging issue, their response was that they've been told they are not it's not their duty to be enforcers. So I didn't know where to go with that. So it's kind of a circle.
are they just drawing a line between dredging and the structure, or are they
Well, that was on the dredging.
activity versus the structure?
That was on the dredging issue.
Right.
And because we were very specific about where you could put the spoils. And they actually dumped the spoils on Silver Beach property on the other side of the inlet.
And then Marcelo, I think, trucked it all out of there, as far as I know.
Yeah, they had to take,
And like,
there's no place
it
to
was
spread
like
it.
900 or 1,000 yards or something.
It was way in excess of what the
Yeah,
permit.
he said it was 300 yards with a permit, and I think it was he took 1,000 yards of stuff out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the points I had made, but
that permit's every year.
yeah.
And it seems like we were trying to be nice to him, and now he's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what to do with anything like that. I'll call the building department tomorrow or Wednesday and ask them what's going on. Let's see, okay, as far as applications go, we've got two. Shelter Island Holdings, I don't know if Rob Herman is here. It's pretty straightforward. It's up in West Neck Creek. They want to use core fiber poles as bulkheading. I remember years ago that we had an applicant, it was like the first time we encountered these things. And that might be the property that's next door, because the property next door has them, according to the plan.
Holman had them as well.
Oh, maybe that was home in that. going to ask Rob about the history of these things. Apparently they work. The DEC does require that there be a plant survival report by January 15th of 2026, and I was going to ask them to copy us with that plant survival report, just to stay tuned to how this works. But I didn't see any issues with the plan. Anyone else have any thoughts or issues with that bulkhead?
It's just a fiber deck.
Was there a previous bulkhead there?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Now, is this, we call this hardening or not?
yeah, that's, I think, part of the concept is that it's not supposed to be hardening, because it's not like a
Oh,
vinyl.
This is the neighbors that got the same stuff.
Yep.
Oh, it's like it becomes part of the earth?
It's like a soft hardening by the looks of it.
Yeah,
Washout needs to get located at the toe of the bank.
Right.
The only issue with them, they're put in with hardwood stakes. And these, they do fall apart, they do degrade, because after several years, they degrade, but then you're left.
Is the stuff,
Wooden spikes in the ground. And the big ones you can see when you walk, but the ones that possibly are broken off, that's an issue.
can you walk on these things?
Well, if it's above the high water mark, then it's technically on private property and it shouldn't be on them.
I'm just,
Yeah, no, I understand yeah. How long does it take for these to degrade? Does anybody know?
that's why I had a note here to ask Rob if he was here, but I don't see him. Yeah, you can see him on one of the photos.
Yeah, on the neighbor's property, it looks like, right? Southeast existing core logs along shoreline.
I think it's
I like it better than
probably better than bulkhead.
hard,
Yeah.
You know, Bill, I remember that last one coming to us years ago. I just don't remember if it actually fell under our purview and we voted on it or against it, or obviously we probably voted on it if we had a vote on it, but I don't know if it was even under our jurisdiction because it is above high water, or whether we pushed it on to the building department, and maybe John would have a better recollection of that.
but it falls under water control issue, something that falls into the WMAC purview.
I didn't hear what Albert said.
Yeah, I don't recall, Al. I couldn't remember what the old one was. Or who even installed it.
I remember it coming through, but I don't remember what happened either. James, any recollection?
Sort of drawing a blank here.
Yeah.
There's a couple around.
Sort of innocuous, and
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just curious of how we handled the last one, that's all.
Yeah.
And if it falls under our purview, that's really the question for me.
high water mark. That's high water. According to the drawings, it is above high water.
yeah.
I think it would probably fall under other water control devices.
Yeah.
obviously, we've done it before.
That's what we're trying to remember if we did.
So there's a requirement for it to have 85 success, a minimum of 85% survival of plantings by the end of 5 growing seasons.
Yeah, I
So
don't
they
know.
are monitoring it 5 years out.
Yeah,
I was looking for the stake thing, question on the stakes there, I don't,
The snakes are pretty plain in the pictures.
yeah, yep.
Like you say, I mean, people shouldn't be walking up there.
Some years ago, Holman had installed his property. And then I remember after a few years, people were complaining about these things.
You know,
That's a different, that's sort of a different application. That gets a little more weather there, I guess.
Yeah. I just remember the state became an issue, the state.
Is,
there it is right there, yeah. What? 2-inch untreated hardwood stakes. Something 2 foot by 2 inch maybe?
It almost looks like they're driven through the thing.
Yeah, they probably use like a big staple.
Although,
Stake.
it looks like, I guess,
I can't quite read.
no, it actually looks like they're not driven through it, it's just in front of it.
Are they in front of it?
Yeah.
so other water control devices have been attached to land above or below or within the limits.
Like anything growing on these.
It looks like fallen branches on them.
I mean, it looks like there's, I mean, where the thing is exposed and it hasn't been overwashed by leaves and stuff. Doesn't look like anything grows on them.
Looks like this was taken in winter time too, so.
Oh, definitely.
It's hard to say whether that stuff's alive there or not.
I guess. I mean, I don't know how much of a rush this is, but I mean,
I mean, from this photo, it looks like it did stop the erosion part.
yeah.
Well, it's, other water control devices basically are limited to the area between mean high and mean low water. Huh,
So this is above high water.
I know, that's what I'm,
Sounds like it's out of our jurisdiction.
Sounds like it's an erosion control from runoff and not erosion control from tidal.
Title.
right,
So then that would fall north of if all of the insulation is shoreward of mean high water, it's not in your purview, you guys should move on.
Yeah,
I think it's a good point.
that is true.
All right. We'll
Pass
pass,
that to somebody
we'll
else.
pass on that one, and, let's see, Jessica, you want to just make a note to bounce that back to the town clerk and ask her how she wants to handle it? Thank you, Al. Okay, the other one is on mooring. This is
I got to take over.
Paris. It looks like it's a riparian, right?
Well, I don't know, he says private.
No, but
He was taking over the past owner's mooring.
Right. Here's some powers, I don't know.
But that looks like it's right off his property.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know if he has any other moorings, Claris?
That's the only one.
Well, I mean, does his mother live in Westmoreland?
The applicant himself does not have any other moorings.
Okay.
Oh,
There's no other moorings associated with that address.
wonder if he intentionally chose to make this private as opposed to riparian for some reason. He identifies the boat.
Yeah.
I guess we can just treat it as private.
And what they asked for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Guy doing it knows what he's doing. Bird. Where's, Station looks fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was there.
Yeah. All right. Any issues? Good. James, good. Mark, good. I'm good. I'm good. Al, you good? All
I'm good. I'm good.
right. We got 1, 2, 3, 5. 5. Oh, approved for that. All right, it's all the application we had, so get a look at the waitlist procedures and the the town dock rules and regulations.
Bill, I got a question before we get into that. I'm curious about a follow-up on the Titanis and also on the Fagan applications, just what happened. I don't know, maybe Albert can help us out. I'm just curious of what, how the town board ruled on those two things.
The float in the dock really was nominally reduced
Which one, Titanis?
to
Yeah,
Fagan was not allowed,
Fagan was what?
not allowed,
Not allowed?
watered down.
How nominally was the float reduced in the other one?
yeah, wasn't,
Not very significant at all.
no, that was, that kind of slipped by us a little bit. I think.
Bill, I can hear you, but
I don't think it slipped by
I
us, I
couldn't
think.
hear Albert. I couldn't hear what Albert was saying, so maybe there's somebody.
Albert was saying that on Titonis, the dock length was nominally reduced by about 10 feet.
Right.
And on Fagan was,
The float was reduced.
the float, yeah, I'm sorry, the float was reduced from, I think, 40 to 30 feet. I forget off the top. Well, it's whatever we discussed at we approved at the meeting was approved by the town
Was
board.
approved. Okay, thank you. All right.
And Fagan was denied.
Denied altogether.
Denied altogether?
Denied altogether.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so on with town dock rules and regulations and the wait list. Hopefully it's, at this point, reflects what everybody's looking for. The only real open issues I saw on Congdon Creek and Dixon with a 2-hour tie-up period questions, but just run through the copies that you have in front of you. What I did was put the changes in red that everyone had, we talked about before. James, you had sent an email and I think the changes reflect what you were looking for. You said vessel change. If a vessel change is approved, a reasonable time to effect the change. And
Billy, can I ask what document you're looking at?
his email or the
Yeah, you got 3 documents, so you got 2 waitlist procedures and then you got the permits. So are you on the waitlist procedures or are you on the permit?
right now I'm talking about his James's email with respect to the rules and regulations, right?
Okay.
I mean, I think it was just a reasonable time to, like affect getting a boat, a new boat in place, I mean. once approved, I think is what I was trying to get at.
So the way it reads is an applicant must submit a vessel change request to the town clerk's office for review and approval prior to berthing a different vessel in the applicant's permitted slip. So does that, I don't see a time limitation in that or anything. So I mean, so that should work for your concern.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then on the absences, I mean, they can have 3 absences for 7 days. You were talking about an absence greater than 3 days. I think that it's even more liberal than what you were
Right.
concerned about, right?
Yeah.
Also, we're not checking it that frequently.
I mean, you know, like, I
We're
mean,
checking it once a
if
week.
somebody goes fishing for like, you know, like for a week
Yeah.
or whatever, you know, I mean,
But the intent there, I think,
Right.
like, for with the 7-day window.
I think 3 7-day periods is fine.
Yeah, right. And the intent was there to accommodate people who want to go to Block Island
Right,
for a
right.
week. or-
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, so Congdon Creek, first one. Believe the only issue was, and I added the language back in, is I just pulled it out of the old code. Under permit issuance, no person shall moor or secure a boat at the end of the dock for more than 2 consecutive hours, nor shall any boat so secured or moored exceed 30 feet in length. A dock permit shall not be required in this event. And that was in response to concerns, that had been left out.
Right, so it was left out because that dock and the east end of it, that formerly was the theoretical location, right? We took that space. The town took that space, added a T to the end of it, right? We went through the permitting process, added a T to the end of it to make it a permanent home for the Cockles Harbor-based patrol boat. So when it was left out of the revised Article 2, it was specifically because we
Don't have that space anymore.
expressly authorize somebody all of the time to be in that area. However, in Article 2, although it doesn't say expressly, there's anybody can go there for 2 hours at that particular location. There is a section in Article 2 that says nothing shall prohibit the authorized use, right, outside of the rules that are established within there without a permit. So in other words, let's just say, Tom, you need to bring, the trawler in. We've done it already,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
historically, right?
Yeah.
You make a phone call, maybe we can establish who authorizes the use, like that might be a good thing, right? I believe in the legislation itself, it says the police or authorized town board or police, something to that effect. So maybe in the rules and regulations, right, such person notifies the police department, the town clerk, whoever it happens to be, it's most practical to notify the police department, because we're the ones who are gonna get a complaint that there's a boat somewhere. But could be anybody, I don't really care who. That might be a reasonable thing to say, if you plan to exercise whatever it is, you need to notify this person. If you guys wanna add a 2-hour thing back in there, that's fine, I don't know how it's going to work, right? So where is the person gonna go for 2 hours without having some point of contact? As a point of reference, I got a phone call the other day, somebody said, hey, we're gonna be doing an event on Taylor's Island. On this day, from these hours, can we have the end of that dock for that purpose? No problem, we'll relocate the police boat for that period of time, and it becomes just a normal public access dock. We take the little chain down, and it's an authorized use outside of what the rules are that is being conducted through permission, right? So that's kind of the mindset.
That's the way it's working now.
And that is.
So maybe the way,
Right.
maybe the way it should just be in this instance for Cotton Creek is upon approved request.
Right, if you request it.
I don't like that at all.
If you request it, you get it, like, that's how
I
it.
spoke to Amber a while ago, and she was gonna find out where the funding came from for that dock, so that the town can put another float out there to return without permission 2-hour tie-up. It was never permission asked, it was always 2 hours.
Right.
And then the police took that to save money and all that, and the town lost. They lost 2 hours. Somebody shouldn't have to launch their boat and then not be able to tie up at the end of the dock because they have to ask permission to do so. It's really that the town should make some sort of addition there so that the police can have their float and the 2-hour tie-up can be returned.
So.
That's what
There's no,
should happen.
you can use the working.
What about the-
For any period of time, provided that you're actively using, right, to tie up, hauling, unloading.
That turns into a mess when we're trying to unload fishes.
Right, but what I'm getting at is we may be creating a problem where there isn't one, right? Are you familiar with anybody who has since not been able to use that would have liked to use it, that there's an issue?
I've experienced people trying to load their boat while people are trying to unload the fish, and the woman's dog ran up the street, so therefore everybody stopped, experienced that. And I've spoken to multiple people who are not happy that there isn't a place at the end of the dock to tie up so they can run their trailer out of the water. Multiple people have complained to me about that too, so
Then,
it is a
I think
thing.
you guys should include something in there, and I look forward to figuring out how to make it work.
Well, like I said, I asked Amber about how to accomplish it, and I didn't hear back from her on that.
Right.
This has been going on since,
The best of my knowledge, that money just came out of the DPW stock budget.
is that what it was? Yeah, because she said she was gonna look it up and find out how.
I did all the permitting with Joe Fenora on that. Al, maybe, I don't think Al did the drawings for that one.
Yeah, I did.
You did, yeah, okay, so,
I did.
which is a normal process, right? Al does the
Yeah, yeah.
drawings for the DPW submitted we did all the permits, so on and so forth. So that's where all that's funded. I'm all for adding more dock space,
Yeah.
like overall. We wanna put another T at the end there somehow. By
Yeah.
all means, like, let's do it. We'll fill out an application and put it there. But somebody has to, like, there has to.
gotta initialize it.
$20,000 or $30,000 or whatever it's gonna be, it has to be warranted by people who need it, right? So if there's a need for it, let's figure it out. In the meantime, the way that it has been addressed is just through open dialogue. Hey, can we use it? Hey, I need this. Hey, I'm leaving my boat in a spot it's not supposed to be. Is that okay? We pretty
You've
much.
been real flexible down there.
And everybody, like, I'm not saying it's a single point of contact, it's not just me, it's the Marine Division, it's the town clerk, we're all trying to work together to make sure they get notified something, they tell us, vice versa, so.
And you're referring, this is temporary use, which is
Temporary use.
under that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so temporary use, I mean, there's been days and days and days that we've authorized temporary use of public dock space for reasonable reasons, right? Somebody broke down, they gotta be there for 2 or 3 days, and the weather comes in, they can't move the boat, fill in the blank, right? So, without getting too into the weeds in the legislation, right? This is permitted, but that's not permitted, Wednesdays on a full moon, but, we wanted to try to back that out a little bit to have it be a little more flexible, but at the same time, Tom, I understand, I
Yeah.
might not be here tomorrow. I might drop dead tonight and, the next person might be like, oh, you're not allowed to do that. So I get the concept of trying to,
Well, can we ask the liaison to ask the town board to pursue this?
Well, it seems like it's a hardware problem. I mean, you're gonna have to come up with a design how it's gonna work.
Yeah, well, that's what, can we
town
proceed
board
with
ain't gonna do
something?
it, Tom. If you think that we need a different.
You come up with an
stock product
idea.
down there.
Where the float could go, where you could put a T, how you get access to it, whatever.
A simple L down there, another note right on the end.
Canvas.
I think that's the way to go.
That's what we go to.
If you think that there needs to be a change in infrastructure, that request needs to go to
We can.
DPW, right? Hey, I noticed these things as a Waterways user, these, I'm representing additional individuals, whatever happens to be. We feel like it would be a good idea to do this. here's where we think it should go, here's where we think you could get funding for it, right? Because that's always a big question, right? Who's paying for it? And then, at the end of the day, if it makes sense and somebody can pay for it, we can get a permit for it, then we make it happen.
The
That's how we got
the
police
easier you
dogs.
can make some, the faster it goes.
Right. So, but that would be the correct
That's the avenue.
avenue, is
That's
going
the
to DPW. There.
I've come up against a brick wall with this with everybody that I've ever talked to about it.
It's a.
Every time I talk to somebody, it's another, oh, okay, that's good, and then it just gets dropped.
Functionally, that's how we built the police docs, right?
Yeah.
We said, hey, this is dumb, we're paying a lot of money to marinas, we don't wanna do that. For the same amount of money over a period of time, we could build a float at the end of this. We mocked up what we thought it might look like. I went to Brian at the time and said, we wanna build this on the end of a town dock, what do we gotta do? He said, hey, that makes sense, it's a pretty good idea, and then we started the permit process, so it can happen, it just needs to be an idea and, fully developed.
I mean, it makes a lot of, it's an active place for launching and,
Yeah.
people need to do something with their boat.
Sure.
Oh, we're getting the trailer out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled in multiple times, I couldn't get into my slip because somebody was in it, because they were moving their trailer, or they went into town to pick somebody up, or.
Have lunch.
And what's wrong with I don't understand what's wrong with the bulkhead. That was when they put in the new bulkhead, it was dredged specifically so the boat could tie up there short term.
No, what the problem is what happens is if somebody pulls in there and, they're getting on their boat, they're getting passengers and people are gathering and getting on the boat to go boating, there'll be people waiting to unpack fish while, for instance, the woman chases her dog up the street. I watched that.
But if it's a 2-hour tie up, that can happen anywhere, Tom.
Yeah,
right?
but if it's
Somebody-
not,
You're
saying-
it's not,
You're gonna have to-
if the
you're gonna
2 hour
have to-
tie-up's not the bulkhead. The
You're gonna have
bulkhead is
to-
for loading and unloading, whereas the 2 hour tie-up, that's where you put people on a boat, and you hang out there, wait for the guests to arrive and all that. That's what the 2 hour tie-up, and you launch your boat, you can park your boat there to move your trailer, take your trailer home if you don't have a town permit. That's what the 2 hour tie-up was intended for.
So for this particular iteration of the rules and regulations, right? To include a stipulation that somebody can tie up at the end of the dock without a permit and so on and so forth, right? It's gonna create some sort of conflict immediately.
Right. No, that has to come out.
So-
It has to come out for now then, yeah.
But in the interim, right?
Yeah.
We go with some version of, right, if you need a 2 hour tie-up, you have to notify, fill in the blank, right? Maybe that's the way to exercise a non-permitted temporary use of an area is to follow this procedure, call this phone number, whatever it happens to be. And then as we move forward, if we can develop an additional public use dock or of some sort like that.
So you just added
Revise
it.
that in a few minutes' time, and that becomes the new policy procedure for doing.
Sounds like a plan.
So basically, since it's the police boat that's there, under temporary use, the person they should contact, well, it says Shelter Island Town Police Department. So
Right.
that would be,
So you can carry that into the rules and regulations, right? We could add in the rules, in this section, a temporary use section. If there is no temporary use paragraph in the rules and regulations. And that is probably something I should have included because the law stipulates temporary use is allowed, so. And we could add some language in there, another bullet, or not bullet, but another paragraph.
Right, right.
It just says, exercising temporary use. To that effect.
all right, good. It's Congdon Creek. Deering Harbor is really straightforward. There's really nothing there that came up. On Dickerson,
Deering Harbor, did we designate that as one season slip, one slip there for season? Did we designate how many? I didn't think we designated, right? Okay.
See that place full of commercial boats in the winter,
Yeah.
honestly.
No, well, because there's a chance that there's somebody else that's over in Deering Harbor now, that may seek to use that during those months as well, so it'd be nice if it wasn't designated as just the one. Give the flexibility there.
So historically, for context, if anybody doesn't know, there's only one permit that's ever been issued annually.
Yeah.
To keep a commercial boat on one side. One of the things that is changing here, I believe, the former code that was replaced stipulated only the west side of the dock.
This one doesn't,
This does not stipulate a specific side, therefore, at least theoretically, it opens up more space
yeah,
to more permits. If you guys think that it's prudent to stipulate the number of like, I don't know, are we gonna try to put 100 permits on there? Obviously, that's not practical.
I think it's more of an
But, you know,
on request thing, if anything.
I would say the number of permits is contingent on the available space and size of vessels requiring permits, right? So, again, the idea
That
is
leaves it all-
accommodate as many users as you can.
Yeah.
So if you can fit 3 people and 3 people want it, then let's allow it, like, why not?
Yeah.
That's better for all of the people who might want to use it.
Especially in that off season when nobody's using Bocosi's dock anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
all right. Well, then we just leave it loose as it is, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see, on Dickerson, we had similar,
Well, the only thing does anybody know what the fee is for that commercial slip there?
So I don't, I would recommend that become a standardized.
That's what I was just gonna say, does nobody know where the base is? Is it has it been adjusted over the years? Can we find out what that is, Al? The fee that's being charged to the
Deering Harbor.
Deering Harbor Town Dock lease in the wintertime? Just to see what it is, I mean, we have another town dock that we charge a lot of money for the year-round thing, so. Be nice to see what they are and see if it needs to be adjusted for,
this is on Deering Harbor.
yeah, on the seasonal slip fee, whatever you call it. Right, is that the right terminology?
So, again, that is a fee structure that should be developed by somebody, presumably Waterways and town clerk, right? Because you guys have a better handle on what things should cost, on the water, and then town clerk has an idea of how to levy those fees and collect them from people, right? If you come up with a fee that she couldn't possibly figure out how to get, that wouldn't work. And then that should be formalized through some town board action, because the legislation, the code stipulates the town board is the one who sets those
They
fees.
set they set it.
Periodically from time to time, on their own motion, at the product of.
At the
We're
bottom.
not authorized to set fees. We are not
No.
authorized to set
No.
fees.
But you can certainly advise.
we can advise.
Set them.
We can advise.
I advise,
It's our role.
we don't do fees.
Nope.
Um,
So the last one for Dixon.
For
basically-
Dickinson, also, yeah, I still have a question, for me, I'm a little twisted about the 2.5 hour, or the 2 hour tie-up that it's not being provided for, number one. And
Is,
number
Oh,
two,
it
It is, there is a space there.
Yeah.
there is a space there. There is the floating dock is being provided. And the other thing is that it should, I'm hoping that that is in effect for everybody. That's not just for commercial use. That's for anybody. If you want
So,
to tie up there and have lunch for 2 hours or pick up passengers, you should be able to do it.
so formally, the 2 hour tie-up was more restrictive there, right? You're allowed to use the float for 2 hours unless it was during scallop season and you had a boat of certain size and then you were allowed to do more than just the 2 hours on the float. So what the new legislation did was back that 2 hours out to everybody all of the time. It's allowed 2 hours anywhere down,
Anywhere.
anywhere down there. Correct me if I'm wrong in the legislation, Bill, but I believe in Article 2, under, that is a, no permit is required.
That was my question, whether that's what the intent was with, I think it's 53(8)(d)(3).
Yep.
So it reads, "A Dickinson Creek Town dock permit shall entitle the holder thereof to dock moor or secure a vessel on the Graces Lane bulkhead and public floating dock between September 16th and June 14th, subject to rules and regulations." And also on, under C5, Graces Lane bulkheads and public floating dock for no more than 2 consecutive hours.
Right.
So,
So no permit is required for anybody, regardless of whether they're scalloping, it's scallop season, they've got a 21-foot boat, a 26-foot boat. Anybody can tie up there at any time for no more than 2 hours, without a permit, without anything. Use our public spaces. We have beautiful public spaces. Come and enjoy them, please.
so Al, did you see in my notes, so that the 2 sections I'm referring to are 53(8)(c)(5) and 53(8)(d)(3).
I see that, yeah, all I'm seeing is that you have them written, but I don't see what they are. You know what I mean? They're in red on the draft, but.
Did you read the code? They refer to this code sections.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, well, I'm hearing it now, so
Yeah, the code was expanded to be more inclusive.
I'm good with it. I mean, you covered it. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'll read it up. So, notwithstanding the above, no permit shall be required to dock moor or secure a vessel to the following: Graces Lane bulkheads and public floating dock for more than 2 consecutive hours. That's one. And types of permits: a Dickinson Creek Town dock permit shall entitle the holder thereof to dock moor or secure a vessel to the Graces Lane bulkheads and public floating dock between September 16th and June 14th, subject to the rules and regulations.
Right, so that would be for more than 2 consecutive hours
That's the.
during that period of time, provided that you get a permit to do that. Just exactly the same as we allow at Deering Harbor Town Dock.
Right.
During the off-season, you can get a permit to exceed 2 hours, provided that you are a commercial fisherman. That's the
It's gotta be proved, it's gotta be proved, yeah.
Right.
The only thing I would suggest is that you don't allow the commercial permit on the floating dock. That's
Great.
have to be,
Great
keep the
idea.
commercial guys, I mean, you can use it to load and unload, but no permanent
Keep it open.
tying.
Right, keep it
Keep
open
that,
for people.
that float should be kept open, yeah,
Makes good sense. A
yeah,
lot of people use that one.
yeah, yeah.
I think.
So, Tom, to that end, that would be something that would be stipulated in the permit issued to the person, right? You
So that is
how we use this location, and maybe we eventually have to get, specific enough to the point to say, between piling 3 and 5 and piling 6 and 8.
Yeah. Designate,
Near
this is
term,
it,
If you were issued a permit, I would hope that we include language that says this does not authorize the prolonged
use
use
of, the yeah,
of.
some sort of wordage in there to, yeah, yeah.
I think that's it. I'll go through and strike that one section on Congan Creek. We'll find out about fees and add some temporary use provision under Congan Creek as well. And the questions raised under Dixon are solved, are answered, whatever. All right, good. The last item is the new dock application. We pretty much, you handed it out? But just right before the meeting, we kind of finalized the draft, so I'm not going to bother going through it tonight because I doubt if anyone even had a chance to read it. But it's attached to your paperwork, so just between now and you'll get an email, get it emailed to you, but just look it over, provide whatever comment you have. I think it's a lot cleaner and more straightforward than the old one. And incorporates all that the new code requires. And if you have any thoughts, shoot some emails and then we can wrap it up maybe before the next meeting or at the next meeting. All right?
Wait list.
Oh, thanks. We right past that. Okay, so the rules and regulations refer, sorry about that. Thanks, Jessica. Rules and regulations refer to waitlist procedures. And we have a copy of those. Yeah, okay. Two different sets, one's for Congdon Creek and one's for down Dock Congdon Creek. The other one's for all other moorings and gridded areas. So, make sets of papers. So let's go through the Congdon Creek first. Under eligibility, so we had, you had not a dock owner. So we've addressed that under the rules and regulations.
Perfect, we'll take it out of it.
The fee part, we established we have nothing to do with that. Someone else will come up with that.
Right, but I think it's important that you guys weigh in on that, right? So there's, like Deer Harbor moorings have a $20 per year wait list fee that some people pay, some people don't pay. It's kind of been, right? So the whole idea is to tighten all this up because we have all these wait lists that we have really poor information for. We've got people that don't live here anymore, so we're trying to get to the point where, you know, it's something that is sort of self-maintaining in a way, right? If you want to stay on the wait list, you're gonna get notified that you need to take some action to stay on the wait list. Maybe pay something, maybe not. You know, if you guys don't think that there should be a wait list fee, then that should be a suggestion and we won't have a wait list fee.
But there should be some sort of correspondence, like you said, just, you know.
Right, so we've been in the process, so all of the wait lists have now been moved into online moorings to use that database and the communication tools that that brings with it for all of the wait lists, right? So we can handle all of this that way, because that's what we've done with everything, did all the moorings. We've even moved concrete dock permits to that now, right? So, but in order to fully go that route, we need to have some direction. Do we charge people? Do we not charge people? How does that, can they decline several times? Like, what do we do with this information, right? Because Cotton Creek Dock is an example, the one we're talking about. We just filled a vacancy, person was on the list for 25 years. We're down from about a 40-year wait, right, because we had a lot of turnover recently. So organizing who stays on the wait list and for how long and what they have to do to stay on it may help with that sort of moving things
Following the
along,
wait list.
right? How long do we give somebody to reply to an offer? Historically, it was a couple of years. I don't know, I haven't heard back from them yet, they might still want that. In the meantime, you got 158 people waiting in line, so, how many times can you skip and hold your spot? Those sorts of things, right? We're just trying to get some guidance on being equitable to everybody, the people who, are almost about to get it and the people who may not get it in their lifetime. And we just want to make sure it's equal across the board for all those folks. That was the idea behind this concept.
I think it's absolutely necessary.
As I mentioned, everything's on online warrant, so regardless of whether there's a fee or not, an applicant will be required to renew their position, and they will be required to pay the $7 management fee to those guys. So if we're happy with that, then hey, don't charge anybody anything extra, fine with me, we don't need to make money on the deal, like that's fine. But then that $7 fee will ensure that I get my notice every year, and if I don't renew it, that's on me. Maybe I don't live here anymore, maybe I don't want it anymore, maybe I'm just too lazy to care. Put it in the back of the line.
The bottom line is the waiting list participant has to take some sort of action to stay on it.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Right, so we don't spend a long time chasing down
Yeah,
No, it's good.
no, I like that.
George. I got a name on the list, George,
Yeah,
with 4 digits of a phone number. I want to give him his spot, but I don't know who it is.
I would guess that, the $750 or whatever that fee is adequate to cover the,
yeah, well.
I don't even know where the $20 came from for Deering Harbor,
Yeah, what is that? That was a little weird.
which I paid for.
It's been there for years.
Really?
It was there for years.
It was, I mean, I paid it for like 8 years until I got a mooring.
Yeah,
I think it's someone's guesstimate of what the administrative expenses of trying to track people down. I think that's.
Right.
it's my understanding
I think this
that
does
the
it.
original $20 fee was intended to purge the list a bit. How much you really want to be on waiting for this,
Right.
right? If $20 to maintain your spot is no big deal, then you stay on the list. Maybe, the list is very short now, it's only probably 5, 6 years. So maybe it doesn't have to be on. Maybe $7 is enough.
Yeah, well,
I think
maybe
the $7
it's
should be
already-
enough for everything.
Yeah,
It's already in the online system, the Deer Harbor moorings, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
So-
maybe that's adequate.
So the $7 is.
Why charge them $20 for, what's the difference?
right, that's just the Waterways Fund collecting $20.
Right.
That's all, that's functionally what it is. So it's just a source of revenue for something that we offer our people.
But we don't charge that fee for any other harbor.
For anything else.
Yeah,
So there are 2 fees here. There's the original application fee, and then there's the renewal fee.
And all of them, yes, all of them will have the $7 administrative fee, no matter what. So if you want to charge them $10 to apply the first time, they're paying $17, period. And if they want to renew next year and you don't want to charge them anything, nobody wants to charge them anything for that, they're still gonna pay the $7. They gotta pay the $7 just to keep the system going.
Yeah.
but the main thing is that they're required to take action with a certain time and it's all taken care of.
Which, as a mooring owner and a
Yeah.
Condon Creek dock owner, and fill in the blank, anybody else has things, we know.
Yep,
You wanna keep your slip at Condon Creek dock,
you're on
you
it.
better get your stuff in line
Yep,
every year by the time it's supposed to be there.
yep.
And put the impetus back a little bit on users,
User,
not having
yeah.
such a nanny state where, oh, no, it's fine. We'll find you if if it's your turn, we'll find you. Or what if you don't like it? Maybe you will
yeah.
find me.
Well, as far as, I hate to just, the waitlist application fee, is there any rationale behind there being a fee of any certain amount? I hate to just be arbitrary and just say $20, $10, $50, whatever it is. It's just, I mean,
It's
there's,
essentially pushing some buttons and
So
Yeah, I mean, functionally, you can do it yourself, wouldn't even require, you
Right.
pay your own $7, you don't need anybody
Right.
other than somebody to approve the fact that you are in fact
on the
a
wait list.
resident and then allow you to be on the list. There still has to be a human factor involved for the decision-making process. Correct.
How much does that decision cost, I guess?
Depends, if it's a Concord Creek site, it could be pretty hefty. Um, I mean, I'm comfortable with just the $7 thing because
Right.
it's setting the, what's the word I'm looking for, the procedure is there, it's there, it's already there.
Part of the procedure.
And you have to respond to the email that they send you, or you're not getting,
so what's that, that's the online mooring registration fee, is that?
Yes, they charge $7 per application per year, that's what they charge, period.
So payment of wait list application,
how much, any work with the town clerk's office go?
I'm sorry, Albert?
Any work with the town clerk's office, for the town clerk's office?
is there any labor involved in it?
Dealing with them.
Well, functionally, currently, like with a wait list, if you will, you walk into a town clerk, you say, hey, my name's Bo Payne, my phone number's so-and-so, I live on Shoulder Island, I wanna go on the wait list. And they go, thanks. And then since I'm already in the system, I just link Bo Payne to that wait list. I have to pay $7 and I'm on the wait list. It's a very minimal amount of work, right? We're trying to actually, the whole function of online mooring is to get away the 9,000 pieces of paper for every single thing.
Yeah.
And just simply, oh, Albert, you wanna join the Concrete Dock wait list? And go to online mooring, click an application, submit, boom, pay your $7 and you'll be on there, you're done. There's no paper, there's no nothing.
so the next question would be, who verifies residency requirements?
Right now, it's the two of us.
Okay, so there is some sort of work to be done there.
Yes, right.
Okay,
Because anybody could fill out an application.
that's what I'm
submit,
saying,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But in order for it to be approved, there's no automatic approval process.
Okay, so it is,
All renewals and submissions require a set of staff eyes. We divide the work depending on what it is. To look at that and, you're required to submit a proof of residency. I look at every single piece of documentation that's submitted
yeah,
and verify, okay, you are in fact have a driver's license here, or property owner, fill in the blank.
So if we have some nominal fee,
I do 25 of those in a day for the both sorters. It's like,
if we have some fee, is there then like additional time to process that fee? I mean, if you have
no, because that's all automated as well.
all automated.
It's just a matter of what we tell the system to charge. Do you want to charge a fee when a person clicks submit for this particular thing? The answer is yes, tell us how much, and as soon as they touch that button, it'll say, you owe us this much money.
It's automatically directed to our coffers and to the online mooring coffer.
Yep.
So, does anyone have any thoughts about the initial wait list?
So every time somebody renews, do you have to put your eyes on it?
They do the renewal.
Somebody has to put,
Yes,
so it's,
because periodically, there appear people who renew things, moorings specifically, that no longer live here, no longer own a boat at all, and maybe it's a private mooring, right? And so that potentially could slip through the cracks if it was just an automated process. Oh, you paid your fee, you've renewed, which is
right, but that's part of
had
it.
been
That's part
known
of
to
that
happen
fee.
even with human eyes looking at it occasionally over the
So
years.
this wait list thing, I mean, it's not a big deal, really. I mean, why don't you just keep it what it is and.
yeah, I'm fine with just the $7, whatever they're charging to maintain the thing, as long as there's a set of eyes and it doesn't cost a lot of money for that set of eyes. Then I'm fine with
We have to
$7.
look at it anyway, there's no change in.
I'm good with that as well.
So our recommendation basically to the town is that the $7 fee for the initial application as well as the renewal is adequate?
Adequate.
All right,
So there would be, your recommendation is there's no fees to join or stay on the wait list.
And then regarding a recommendation for fees for other things like, I guess, Dickerson Creek, I mean, I think you need to get more information about what's being charged at Deering Harbor, right? Isn't that what
Yeah, well, I'd like to see what Deering Harbor is.
Right, I mean, just sort of like, some sort of yardstick.
What was the other thing, train of thought.
It'll come back.
It's a Tom,
It's a short train of thought.
Thought of lot at the station.
Under assignment of permits, my only thought was applicants have 5 days to accept, after 5 days, they've declined. If someone's away on vacation and not paying attention to emails and so forth, it seems like 5 days, especially if you've waited for 25 years, it would be outrageous to be away on a 2-week vacation and come back and find out that you missed this thing, right? I'd be pulling my
10
hair.
days,
Ruined my Italy trip.
10 days be more appropriate then? 10 business days?
Probably 10 business days, I think.
So I would find it very hard to believe, and I'm with you, but 10 days is fine, I just put an arbitrary number in there.
Yes.
Whatever, I get tired of waiting for people, but in today's day and age, it would be
Right.
phenomenal to me that somebody could not receive a phone call or email in some way, shape, or form, reply in that period of time to hold their spot. That would be, with the last person that we filled the spot at Common Creek Dock was in a hospital room recovering from back surgery that he had the day before.
He was intubated.
When I called and said, hey, you're up for a slip in Common Creek Dock, do you want it? It's like, I can't do anything other than, yes, please count this as my yes.
Hook my brain thing up so I can make the computer go.
Wow. Well, my goal in life is to not pay attention to this kind of stuff for 10 days. So, but I think 10 business days makes more sense than 5.
Sure.
Okay, and that's those. I mean, and I'm just flipping through with my comments. If anyone has any other comments, assignment criteria, I didn't see any issues there.
We're allowing 2 declinations, why are we allowing that at all?
Well, historically, there was no limit on them, and then we would play a game of telephone with 12 people who all presumably would have now 10 business days, right? So it's gonna take 4 months to potentially fill a spot. So we wanted to get to a point where you've had your shot a couple of times,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, right, there's an applicant on there who's been on there for 30 years now.
That's why I was
He's
thinking.
never owned a boat,
Yeah.
he still doesn't own a boat, he's still on the list because we don't have a procedure for this. So every time I get a call him, say, hey, you're up again, would you like it? No. Only takes a couple of minutes, I get that, but at the end of the day, right, we have 157 people on the list. If
Be a job.
the first 150 of them all want to say no, and we're giving everybody 10,
That's why I don't understand why we're giving any declinations. You're either, when your name comes up, you either take it or that's it.
Well, I mean, you're specifically talking about Common Creek,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this-
not like Deering Harbor moorings.
No, just-
Deering Harbor moorings can be tailored, like.
Yeah, just the county, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. I mean, our list is so long, why do we give you a couple of different shots to take a chance? Your name comes up,
You go.
waiting 20 years, either you take it now or you don't get it.
Or you go to the back, you can always go
Or
to
you
the back
go
list.
to the bottom of the list.
You can always stay on the list.
I'm not gonna call you again in 2 years and say, hey, you're up again, I don't think that's right.
Again, this is a very, very, very finite commodity that a lot of people want, and I want to try to make sure that we give everybody the most equitable shake at the chances they have.
Makes, that's,
Right?
it does seem that if it gets offered to you, you gotta take it. I guess the only reason why you wouldn't is if you don't have a boat, you don't get a boat in time.
Right. Well, you
I mean,
can
you
don't have a boat,
go to
then
business
you
station.
don't get it.
Graham Johnson
Right.
was on a wait list for 13 years.
Yeah.
Called up, said, you've got it. He said, I don't have a boat. He went out and bought a boat like the next day.
Right.
It's not even the boat he wanted.
Which many
Yeah,
people have
fine.
done
Yeah.
to get their spot at Con, same exact thing.
So I agree. I don't,
Yeah, I don't think you should get a second shot at that.
So
Yeah.
is there a difference between affirmative denial, in other words, we spoke to you and you said, I don't want it, and a lapse in responding? Because that was part of the context too, right? If we're only giving you 5 days, you happen to be out of the country with no cell service because you're in the Antarctic and blah, 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 and your time comes up, and we're counting not answering us as a declination of a spot, you missed it just one time, but I'm still at the top of the list, so, hopefully I won't be in the Antarctic next time. I don't know, just as, if you're giving people more time to answer, then maybe don't give them the
How
opportunity.
about
I mean, I think
30
anybody
days?
who's on that list, if they go to the Antarctic, they designate somebody else to be their
Receiving your
agent.
phone calls.
you know,
In the event that I get called for a concrete dock along the way, tell them yes.
on the DNR.
Yeah.
What else?
Al, were you saying something?
Yeah, how about 30 days? I mean, what's the big deal?
30 days what? Instead of
30,
10?
a 30-day grace period for, for that person to respond.
Well,
'Cause
okay, well,
you have a lot of seasonal people that aren't here, and 5 days really is not enough. 10
we're
days.
talking about going to 10. If we went to 30, to go through Bo's example, to go through a list of 150 people, I mean, that,
The idea
You're
too,
not going to go through 150 people. You're going to go through 2.
I think 10's fine.
except for the 12 that we have
If
to
that.
do first, get to them. And
If
that's,
that.
I'm happy to do it however.
Just a thought. I mean, trying to be fair to everybody, that's all.
yeah, and I thought 5 was too short. I thought 10 made sense. I think 30's, that gives someone
I
you
mean,
have to see a third of the
That's enough
season.
time to forget.
I mean, if
Okay.
you call someone on Memorial Weekend and give them 30 days, they miss out a third of the season.
Right, and the next person would be suffering.
Yeah, I think 30 is too much. I think 10 makes a lot of sense.
But maybe we retain some sort of staying on the list for that one person that's in that position too, right? So maybe we don't give them 2 opportunities, we only give them 1. You say no or don't answer, we're gonna keep you there, but you're only gonna get 1 more shot at this. And you better be paying attention the next time. Maybe that's the middle ground.
I mean, procedurally and managing that is not any more difficult than
It's
anything else.
all automated, right? You'll have an opportunity to say yes, you either say yes or no, we tell the system, either kick them off the list, let them stay in the spot, or issue them a permit.
I don't have a problem with giving them one shot to redeem themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you could complicate it by, like, as you said, a formal declination is one thing versus a missed response, but it gets,
That adds a little layer of complexity, but it's a human dimension, right? I mean, that makes a little more sense then. One is an overt act, and the other might just be absent-minded busyness, right? Life gets in the way. I don't know.
Phone died.
Right. Hopefully, because we're making you renew your information on a regular basis, we'll have a very, very good method of communicating with you. Your phone number, plural, Catherine.
Well, in theory, if you're renewing like that and you're retaining the same place and the next guy on the list is going to renew, he knows he's up next.
Right,
There's no question, oh, I don't know where I am on the list. He knows, he's got a number, he goes in there, he logs in every year, he knows
And that's a
how far it
public
is.
facing, that will be a public facing thing, not the contact information, all that, but just.
Just
where you
who,
are on
yeah,
the list.
where you are on the list, and you know, if you're number 2 on the list, you know you're paying attention. You're number 1 on the list, you're paying attention.
Hmm.
I mean, I think I waited 27 years for my slip. And they
So,
called me and I
also,
was on
it's-
it.
it's, you know, the intent behind these
Right.
is to be a living,
To
breathing.
be able to
document.
change it.
So if we head off in a direction, say, this is how we're gonna pursue this right now, and it starts to get murky for whatever the reason is, we go, wait a minute, this ain't working, we gotta fix this thing. Right? We thought none was a good idea, we thought 10 days was plenty, it turns out, you know, somebody's really upset about that, maybe we need to revisit that, fill in the blank. Right? Without having to go and change the code and all of the other things. Right? We can change how we do business, and we do the business that way.
I wouldn't vetch over this too much more.
Yeah,
My knee is throbbing.
well, it's either, I'm torn, I would say either leave the second declination in or somehow draft this so that, if you specifically decline, but I just hate to get into that, you're really into the weeds then, as to how did they decline? Did they not respond or did they say they didn't want, then you get, he said she's, it gets crazy.
Well, just leave it at 10 days and see what happens, and if it turns out that's a giant problem, or people are just not responding when they are up in 10 days,
So are we gonna,
then you revisit it, I guess,
so are we gonna leave in an applicant may decline once and maintain position on the list? But a second declination shall remove them from the list? Or are we gonna just take that out and say, it gets offered to you, you take it?
Whatever form of declination the second time is, you're off the list. If you want to make sure that we're nannying everybody.
To be fair, we
Well,
don't
the
just call once and leave a voicemail and say, you've got 5 days, right? It's like, hey, haven't heard from you, just wanna double check, I'm gonna have to hand it off to the next person here. Get with the program, fill out your paperwork, let's go.
Or maybe make sure, when you're registering for these wait lists, that you give them the best way to get a hold of you.
Yeah,
I think we're over discussing this.
I think so too.
So I agree, but how do we want to leave it? Do we want to leave it with the second declination shall result in removal, or do you want to take that out? And it's just a one-shot deal?
I think Tom made the point that people know where they are at.
They do know where they're at. And the declaration, if they're on that list and it's in that computer system, then that declaration, either yay or nay, will be officialized through that program.
Okay, so an applicant may decline and go to the end of the list.
if they want.
And the second declination's out, all right. Assignment criteria. Removal from the wait list. Following shall result in removal. Loss of eligibility, failure to complete, issuance of concrete does. Well, number 4 comes out. Sublets. So I just added in that Article 2 permits temporary sublets. Anything else, any other things on concrete? Going once? Done. So then all other mooring list procedures, the question I had is that under eligibility, is that the case now that,
It was proposed.
oh,
Same thing.
Okay, yeah,
I just can't, I copied and pasted one to the other, so I probably just didn't take it out of there, but
Okay.
maybe it's something you want in there, maybe not. Take it out.
so the point being, like, if you're a dock owner, you can't be on a wait list to get a mooring.
Right, that doesn't make
On
sense.
a more, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I would say the same issue, must from eligibility 1 to 3, yeah. And then as far as fees, the same as the other?
$750 or whatever
Yeah.
$7.
Assignment of permits, I didn't see any, new declinations. Oh, so this has the same. We feel the same way about this, declining, I mean, this is not as scarce a resource.
With the moorings, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be too bad.
I'll put it 10 days.
oh yeah, like 10 days, I think so. And
Those wait lists aren't bad at all, and apparently the Deering Harbor one isn't that bad either anymore.
Right, the longest one is taking longer. WA and WB are virtually non-existent, like, there's vacancies in both of them at this point, so.
All right, so unless anybody else has any other,
I just want to add one thing. I was up in West Neck last week, I guess, as I was looking at somebody's mooring. And I went by the old dock that was the former Judge Roseboom's. That dock that had the disintegrating floating dock that I imagine just disintegrated into the creek. Nothing was ever done. I went by that and the northeast outermost piling is gone now, so the end of the dock is now listing down. Can we get some sort of formal look at that to prevent the rest of that dock from deteriorating into the creek?
you know which one that is?
The town board or something, because the float disappeared and now the dock's gonna do the same thing.
Building department issue, Tom, and I'm 100% aware, I'm 100% confident, because I told them,
Oh, you did,
that
okay.
there was an issue with that dock previously. To the best of my knowledge, they had been on that property and had taken some action. What that is, I don't know, whether it's just a verbal conversation, I don't know. They are aware that there was an issue with that dock.
Okay.
Follow up with you, because I forwarded the complaint to them in the past, I'll follow up with them and provide you with an update on,
Okay.
you know, what's going on.
Cool, I appreciate that, yeah, because I'd hate to see more of that dock disappear like that. That's all I got.
That's all we got. Anyone else have anything else? Otherwise, motion to adjourn,
Make a motion to adjourn?
and I think there's a couple of seconds. All right. Meeting adjourned, thank you all.
You get 10 days.
Thank you.
Designation.